Welcome back, everybody. We are Coach Talk, and I have on the line LJ. Hi, LJ.
Good morning, Dave. How's everybody? How are you?
Fantastic. If you were to sum up your morning so far in one word, what would it be?
Hilarious.
Now, a little bit of background here for people that are listening. We've just had a bit of a laugh on the phone for about, 10 minutes before we started recording this podcast?
Yeah, we have, because that's what we do. That's how we roll.
It's how we roll. So we've had a bit of a giggle and, yeah, which is good because it sets us up for a good podcast and it's lighthearted and we just seem to roll that way. So that's pretty cool. So would you like me to just set up what we're doing in this podcast and you can then go with it?
Actually, I'm just going to throw you in the deep end today.
You're going to throw me in the deep end?
Yeah, let's go. I alluded last episode that we were going to do something really awesome or touch on something really awesome that you and I present. And I wanted to share it with our listeners. I wanted us to talk about our What's Next acronym.
I love that. Now, the What's Next acronym. How did we come up with that?
Oh, our brainstorming sessions are always, there's no such thing, for those people who know us, there's no such thing as a quick coffee. It's always a couple of hours. It involves lots of napkins, huge idea sessions, and guaranteed lots of laughs.
Yeah, so we met at coffee shops. As everyone knows, we have coffee. So this, and I remember this day really well because we had an epic day having a great breakfast and we grabbed a whole pile of napkins, the white square ones at the front counter at this coffee place. And it looks quite normal because we just go, "Can we have some napkins, please?" And we just go around the corner and they think, "Oh, it's okay, it's for breakfast." Until they bring the coffee around and the brekkie and there's napkins all over the table with your handwriting all over them. And it just looks like we've cut down about 5 trees and the looks we get. But everything we plan and everything we do is always on napkins.
That's how we roll. That's how we roll. But you know what I really love? I really love it when they preempt that we're going to need more. And they just bring more.
They do. And we get more napkins.
But we get more napkins.
The great thing is that you retain these and you keep them. So we brainstorm how we plan our business, where we're going to go, how we're going to move forward. We do it the old-fashioned way with pen to paper, which I love. I love doing that.
And this is an acronym that we came up with that we have presented a couple of times and got really great feedback around it. We're just going to touch on it lightly today to get your food for thought, and you can catch us when we start doing our events again next year, where you can come and dive in a little bit deeper with us, and we look forward to meeting you in person.
Absolutely. So, absolutely. Why do you think it's appropriate this time of year to do a What's Next acronym and unpack that? Why is it so important?
Well, most of us, you and I included, we love to review and plan and kind of just go what worked, what didn't work. We've always practiced what we like to talk about as far as coaching methodologies and coaching strategies. Yeah. And this is the What's Next is, I think, a really nice way to lead into the end of the year and wrapping up. And, what does the next couple of weeks as the last chapter in 2023 look like? Yeah. But also to help propel you and prepare you for taking daily action orientation and steps into what you want for 2024.
Yeah, 100%. There's so many people I've spoken to over the years and, you and I are both curious and we like to ask curious questions because curiosity opens doors. And people I've said, so what are you doing next year? What's on the cards for whatever year it is, 2021, 2022, so many people go, I don't really know. Where I know, LJ, if I said to you, what are your plans next year? You could turn around for the next 10 minutes and go, Dave, I'm doing this, and this, and this. And you've got these broad brush stroke plans set out. And you've got things in place because that's what you do. So many people are like, I don't know. I guess I'll just keep doing what I did this year. Make your life epic. Make it interesting. So my suggestion is you can replay this podcast over and over and over. Grab yourself a pen and paper. And if you want to do it later on with some time to yourself or do it now when you're listening, grab a pen and paper. Write down the page, the acronym, what's next, and start to make some small notes. And LJ, when we do our studies and when we improve ourselves, we do write things down as opposed to just listening, because writing things down does what for us?
Well, it's actually a psychological thing
Yep.
so that you can improve your memory. Writing, the actual taking a pen to paper and writing it helps you absorb and retain the information. I think it's something like 33%. There is data out there on it, but it's in the file 13 for me today because I wasn't prepared for that question.
Don't you love it?
I do love it. I do love it.
So let's
So,
do the
are
what's
you ready
next.
to dive in?
I think we should just dive and go. So the floor's all yours.
Amazing. Thank you so much. So, don't think that you're stepping away from the conversation here, though, Dave.
I've just gone and made a coffee. You go
So,
for it.
so first of all, the what's next is an acronym, and just touching on it lightly, it's a way to review where you're at and what is actually coming next for you. So the W is where am I right now?
Yeah, love it.
So review what got you to this point. Have you been a passenger? Have you been the driver? Are you living? Are you existing? What did you love? What did you learn?
Yeah.
Most importantly, what didn't work for you and what didn't serve you and why, because that in itself has got some great clues to help you further down in the acronym.
Yeah, I know with some clients, I have asked them that exact question, which can be confronting to those that know already that they're not where they want to be. And I've said to some clients, where are you right now? It's a really powerful question to ask yourself, because the little person in the back of your head, which is also can be your reticulated activating system, it will tell you where are you right now. And some people, well, I'm really happy. I've got this going on and that going on. Other people can default to, I'm not happy because of. But to have that honest conversation with yourself, it sets you up for the rest of our acronym, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And to be fair, some people haven't even thought about it in this context. So
Yeah,
when you
yeah.
ask them the question kind of breaks their state because it's like, oh, I hadn't actually thought about it like that. Doesn't mean they hadn't thought about it. It just means that the context of how it was delivered is a little bit different to what they were expecting, and it hasn't prepared them for an answer. So that's all good too if that's where you find yourself.
Yeah, great lead-off question. I like it.
So the H is for how do you change where you're at if you want to change it?
Yep.
And of course, you can start to look at the list you just did in the W and start to work out what's important for you to change. And then the rest of the acronym can help you find steps towards change.
Nice.
Most importantly, when we review things, we actually need to accept what was. So the next one, A, is for accepting what was, because we can't go back and change it.
Yeah.
Even if it wasn't the best experience for you, there's a learning there. Yep. If you miss the learning, hopefully you pick it up in the review.
Yeah.
Because that's going to serve you in the step forward.
Yeah, it's so important. And one thing we do talk a lot about with people that have gone through a bad experience, even leading into trauma or leading into things that have defined who they are now, and they do call them defining moments, but things that shape their life to make them who they are right now. An important step in your life is to accept what is and take ownership of it, but don't let it drive you when you're moving forward. Don't let it define who you are going to be the rest of your life. So it's important to accept it and go, yep, I own it, I accept it, it's mine, it was, but at some point draw that line in the sand, step over the line and go, it's not going to actually own me or drive me into where I actually want to be. So that's an important one.
Absolutely. And the acceptance part is also about taking accountability.
Yeah.
So you can do acceptance and accountability. And that's what we call above the line thinking. So it's where you are actually staying in a more positive, not quite the word I want to use, but most people resonate with a positive frame of mind where you can stay out of the puddle. So instead of sitting in the puddle and going, poor me, and blaming and shaming and naming and sitting in the puddle, you're actually standing beside the puddle and going, wow, I was in the puddle and now I'm not in the puddle. But what did I learn from being in the puddle? So it's a very different mindset, but we always try and encourage everybody to stay above the line with their thinking. And we can go into that a little bit more, and we're happy to direct resources around that. So the T is for taking a step forward. And what does that look like?
Like it. Yeah, I like it.
So now you've got a few ideas around what you'd like to see happen in your space for the next year ahead, or even if you can't look in the next year ahead, because some people find that a little bit of a challenge, and you know what, that's okay.
Mm.
It's just the way you're wired. Try and think about the next week, the next 2 weeks, the next 3 weeks, if that's as much as you can think, because even that in itself is going to be a game changer for your world.
It is definitely going to be a game changer. And what I like about taking a step forward and up to this point in our acronym, we've gone from identifying where we are to now we must create a simple strategy. And I know, LJ, you and I will talk about strategy till the cows come home because life is strategy. Everything we do in life, we have to make a strategy from what are we going to wear to how are we going to get to work to strategy, how we're going to cook breakfast, whatever it is. We're now thinking about creating a strategy to what do I have to do to take that next step. So, in
Absolutely.
talking to yourself or writing it down or creating a diary, a vision board, a whiteboard, whatever you like, we are now in the process of here's my strategy, and it's got to be simple and workable. Nothing that's going to overwhelm you and go, oh, look at how much I've got to do. I'm just going to give up. I can't do this. Make it nice and easy and create that strategy, and that's where we're going to move forward from there.
Absolutely. And just as a segue, that for some people don't like the word strategy because it sounds too corporate. What we're talking about is strategy. If I can reframe it for you, it's creating a small how to step guide for you to actually put the action into place. Because doing the written work and planning is fantastic.
Mm,
However, if you don't put the action behind it, it's only a wish.
yeah.
And then you can't get angry at yourself or anybody else if you don't decide to put some physical action behind it,
Mm,
because that's the only thing you can control. So
yeah.
so the next one, if we can, is the S. I we talked about the S for a little bit. We said, is it strategy? Is it what does S really want to stand for? And we both agreed that when we were discussing this acronym, it was more about the support for the action you want to take and the strategies that you've come up with,
Yep.
because surrounding yourself with good people
Yeah.
and people that you trust and to have the guidance to help direct you.
Mm.
Think of it like a nav man or a signpost. That's so important to set yourself up for the success of what you're trying to achieve.
Yeah, totally. And I know support. So many people think they need to do things on their own or they have to achieve on their own instead of using support and friends, family, support services. And I've outsourced things that I need support on many times where I don't have knowledge or I have no idea how I'm going to navigate through something to get somewhere. I've still you can jump online, you can have a look, you can and the support to get you to your next step and next level. It's so important. Don't be afraid to yell out and seek the support you need, and you will be surprised. There are people out there that can give you amazing support that make your journey a little bit easier, and
Yeah.
it propels you further than you think you're going to go, purely because you've gone, I need some support. I can't do this on my own, and you feel like when you're supported, it gives you it's exactly that. It's support. It props you up, and when you get that background, back of house support, it's propelling you forward. And I can't
Yeah.
speak highly enough of people that get your support circle around you, whoever it is, and and use it. Use the resources you've got because it's going to help you no end when you're moving forward.
100%. And
Yeah.
the environment that you put yourself into is going to be a key to your success. And I wanted to just say that asking for help, some people view it as a weakness.
Mm.
It is actually the most courageous step forward and the most courageous action you can take
Yep.
to change where you're at.
Yep.
So please give yourself the gift of courage to ask for help should you need it.
Yeah, yeah, that's really cool. I was in hospital yesterday. Nothing bad. I was just in there getting a test done, just a blood test, and I had no idea it was a massive hospital. It was huge, and I had no idea where to go. So instead of walking around, I literally walked into another area which has no relation to blood tests, And I said to the nurse there, I'm lost. I have no idea where I am. Can you please help me? And she was fantastic. It was just, I know it's a basic example of getting support, asking for help, but it was really easy. And she made my day so easy by giving me good direction. She walked with me to where I had to be. It was really, really great. And it was just purely going, I have no idea where I've got to be. Can you please help me? And she did. And it took the stress off me. I had support. I had someone who knew something I didn't. And it solved my problems so quickly instead of me walking around and around and around and up and down elevators and trying to figure out the map on the wall. And support's a great
Yes,
thing.
that's a
Yeah.
great example.
Yeah,
That's a
it's
great
great.
example. And I guess a learning from that, as you become more proficient at asking and taking the courage of asking for help,
Yeah.
you're actually tapping into your resourcefulness, which is a great step forward.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So that's the what's component of the what's next. Let's have a look at the next part. So the what is around creating the idea of your goals and what you want to head towards. And the next is to try and help you put a little bit more detail on the strategy around how to take it. So the N is name the project or the goal.
I
Name
like it.
the change that you want to see
I
so that
like it.
you've got a target. An arrow needs a target. So if anyone's ever done archery, we don't just, pull back the bow and release the arrow and hope for the best. We actually look where we want to go.
Yep.
We do our best to let it fly towards the target. And it's super important that we have targets to aim for because it lets us know whether we're on point or whether we need to make adjustments.
I like it. That's really pivotal. As soon as you put a name to it and it has an identity, it changes the whole game of what you're doing, the whole project. I like that one.
It becomes real. It becomes very real then.
Yes.
Then we're going to extend yourself to the challenge.
Yeah.
What do you need in terms of resources, people in your circle, education? What is the tools and the strategies that you need to help you get there?
Yep.
And I want you to when you're thinking about this, go through and list it. List who you need. If you don't know anybody who can help you with that, where can you find the people that can help you with that?
Yeah. I like that. Instead, extending yourself to the challenge also, how can you remain motivated when you're doing this? And that is something that, and I've done the same myself. My motivation has started to decrease over time, especially with a little bit of a tricky project. How can you remain motivated? Do you need to benchmark or timeline and look at things that in 2 months' time, I'll look back, or in 3 months' time, and you check in with yourself, or you get someone to check in with you and hold you accountable. So it's the
That's a
motivation is,
great lead in.
yeah, yeah.
That's a great lead into X because X
X
marks
marks
the
the
spot.
spot.
So X marks the spot is not about the end goal. It's about the micro goals along the way
Yeah.
because they are exactly what you were just talking about. It's the small wins along the way that help keep you motivated. And can I just say, determination beats motivation any day of the week.
Absolutely.
So if you have something that you're passionate and determined to do, you will find a way. If you're just trying to find motivation, you don't want it bad enough. I'm sorry to be really blunt around that, but sometimes tough love is good love.
We now have a tough LJ on board. Go ahead. Tough love's a good thing.
Tough love's a good thing,
Yeah.
and we're very real and unapologetic, and we've gone through these whole acronyms ourselves in our own world. This is how we show up. This is what we do.
Yeah.
And it's through our experience of going, sometimes we need someone to just call us out on our BS. And most of the time we have to be accountable to ourselves to go, hey, you are not cutting it.
Yeah.
Your motivation is you don't want this bad enough if you're not showing up every day. So that's where the X marks the spot, and setting those small micro goals along the way are going to help you stay on track and stay passionate about the change that you're aiming for.
Yeah, I like it. I like it very much. So X is important. Up to T.
Up to T. So T is about take the time to reflect and repeat often.
Yeah.
So part of the micro goals, when you reach that, review the whole process. Am I supporting myself towards, so if we go back to where I am right now, how am I working on the change? Accept the things that worked and didn't work. Am I still taking steps forward? Am I still surrounding myself with the people that are going to help to get me towards the change that I'm aiming for?
Yeah.
So taking the time to reflect and repeat is going back through the what.
Yep. Yeah. That's a good one because a lot of people finish something, and you can use what's next or the what's next acronym in anything you want to do. You can pick a simple task, whatever it is, and you can apply this. People do tend to forget to take time to review and look at. And the good thing
And
about it is,
celebrate too.
and celebrate. There might be something in the whole acronym that you have missed, or you could do better next time, or you could actually tweak it and do it now and improve it. And you do the what's next and take time. And when you review, you just hit the nail on the head once again, LJ. We always talk about celebrating and celebrating the win. As soon as you've done something and achieved it, you've got to celebrate it and create that nice bond in your brain that when you do something good, you're going to celebrate, you feel good about it, and then you go do something else good, celebrate it, feel good about it, and you keep that revolving over and over. So the take time to review is so important.
100%. And
Yeah.
part of the what's next and all the planning is actually going, when I achieve the micro step, how will I acknowledge that?
Yep.
How will I reward myself for it? It might be, you know what, I'm going to take myself out and actually buy a coffee instead of having an instant coffee at home, because it's always nice to just get someone else to make you coffee. It might be I'm going to have dinner with a girlfriend, or I'm going to actually buy myself a little treat, whether it be not that I'm a big sugar person, but you know, you might decide I'm going to have that chocolate bar, or I'm going to take myself to the movies and have popcorn this time. Whatever it is, make it relevant and specific, that it's going to add towards your determination, because the reward is worth the effort.
Yeah,
And then, of
100%.
course, so that's the micro goals. And then, of course, when you achieve the big change, not only have you got the internal change that you will notice along the way of resilience, resourcefulness, your demeanor, your mindset, your physical, because we all know that all parts of our world are an absolute reflection of each other.
Yeah.
So not only will you elevate all aspects of your world, they'll never be perfect at all at one time. We know that, but start to, in your reflection, look back and go, hey, I actually notice that when I look after myself on a health and mental perspective, all of a sudden I'm happier in my workplace, my friendships are better, I'm having more fun in my hobbies, I'm actually having more fun with life, and I'm able to just, my enjoyment factor with living rather than just existing is so much higher. So that's the what's next. I hope that you've enjoyed going through that little acronym with us. As I was saying at the start, we dive in a lot deeper with this acronym and a lot more when we do present, which we love getting in front of people.
We do.
So we're looking forward to seeing all the beautiful people that we've been working with and we are yet to meet next year in 2024. So stay tuned. We will update you with the most amazing things that we are doing, and we hope that you get to come along and say hello and let us know what you love about what we're doing and how we're serving you, because the reason we started this podcast was because we have such big servants' hearts. We wanted to serve other people, and this was a great platform that we knew how we could do it for free.
Yeah, best way to do it. And I'm a visual person, LJ, and I do like to, and the people that I've coached in the past that may be listening to our podcasts now, I encourage every person I've worked with to put something on their fridge. So I've had little mantras, or I've had bigger pieces of paper, acronyms that I've used. And if I can encourage people out there that just get a normal piece of paper and write down what's next and make little notes. And when you open the fridge to get your milk for a cup of coffee, we're back to coffee again. When you open the fridge for any reason, you get that visual prompt about what's next.
Oh, that's great. I'm going to give you a visual prompt that you can write on your fridge. I've got a white fridge, and I use a whiteboard marker. It's like a whiteboard for me. And on my fridge is, what is it? If not now, when?
Yeah, yeah. I've seen your fridge. You've got writing all over. It's great. I've seen your fridge. Yeah.
It's a fridge session. It's the best way. It sounds really weird, and people will go, "How could you do that to the fridge?" It's a fridge. It's where I stand. It's where I look. So I make use of it. It's part of the prompting of how I utilize things in my everyday world to make sure that I'm on track and that my mindset is exactly where it needs to be. And I'm human. I forget things too, so it might have a shopping list or two on it.
That's fantastic. So we have a challenge every podcast, LJ. So this podcast, what do you think the challenge for our listeners should be for this one?
I would really like to challenge you all to go through the acronym for where you've been this year and then where you're going, even to the end of the year. If start with the end of the year, what you'd like to see in the next 3 weeks, how you would like your Christmas to be. And share with us. We love getting the emails. We love getting the feedbacks and the private messages. And thank you so much to everyone that's reached out. Again, I would love to do a couple of shout outs to some people that we met in our business circle that shared some amazing things with us. We've got, who is it? We've got Michael, we've got Elise, we've got our favourite friend Jessamy again. We've met so many people. Jessamy with a J. We've met so many amazing people, and I'm so sorry if I haven't mentioned everybody, but you guys inspire us to step up, and that's all about part of the surround yourself with the support, and thank you so much. And we look forward to going through the what's next in our world so that we can play better in that space with them.
Absolutely, and we play large and we encourage everybody else to do so. Playing large is just the way to be. So our Coach Talk website is LJ.
coachtalk.com.au.
Oh, so you've got it down pat now. I try and spring it on you every time. And we can be found with our podcasts on our platforms, which are?
Spotify, now you've got me. Spotify, Apple, Amazon, YouTube, and Facebook.
The whole shebang.
And I think we've got Insta and maybe even a TikTok starting, which is a little scary, but it's getting out there.
We got TikToker coming, so Insta's our last one. So we have. Thank you very much, LJ. You've done a great job. The What's Next is just epic, and I loved what you did and unpacked it. So. Great job there, and I look forward to talking with you and people listening in. Please contact us. We'd love to hear from you, and I will be talking to you next podcast.
See you later. Have an amazing week, everybody, and make sure you have some fun. It is coming into Christmas.
It is. Thanks, LJ. Take care and talk to you soon.
Take care. Bye.
Bye now.